Alright guys, today we are going to learn how to do some frame animation, a little bit more complex. In particular, we're going to learn about tweens in Photoshop. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new document, and I'll just choose web, and we'll do the most common. Get myself a little bit more resolution here. Click create. So I'll start off with the background, and I'm going to just make this nice and simple for this project. So let's just go ahead and start with a straight line, and I'm going to put a big hill back here and maybe a smaller one back here, and we'll give ourselves a little tree right here, and little squigglies. There we go, beautiful. And I'll just go ahead and erase this little intersection. Just give ourselves a little bit of depth there. Alright, now the next thing I'm going to do is create another layer. And on this layer I'm going to do a little balloon. So let's go ahead and switch to red here and put that right here. Now if you're going to do animations of multiple things, you kind of want to get them all drawn before you start messing with your timeline stuff, your animation settings. You kind of want to just make sure everything's set up and ready to go first. So who cares what it looks like. Alright, let me give it a little tail. Push a little harder. Okay, there's my balloon. And that's a separate layer. And I'm going to go ahead and also draw a person walking, and we're going to start with this. He's going to start here, and he is, or she, going to go in this position in the exact same spot. We're going to go, let's turn the opacity down on this so we can see what we did already. Let's try to keep the line in the same spot more or less, and here her arms are going to go like this, and legs kind of straight. So our animation of the walking person will go between this and this. Isn't that lovely? Alright, now we could animate the person kind of walking and duplicate these frames, but one of the tricks of animation is you can just make the background move. Your character can just stay in one place. So I'm going to keep the balloon over here, and I'm going to have the background just kind of shift across like this. And as we do that, we have a problem because we're going to lose our background because it disappears right here. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to take this and I'm going to duplicate it. And this is another trick that animators used to use. You see this like on the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons. And now we have two layers on our background. I'm going to just merge those by shift-clicking, right-clicking, and then just doing merge right here, merge layers. So they now become one layer. So let's just move this back to where it was. Oops. Let's put that back here. Holding down shift to keep that straight. Okay. So this is our first frame. And we'll have the guy just walking. So let's go ahead and create a frame animation. And then let's go here, do not dispose, and create a new layer. And on this layer, we're going to switch it, so it's this guy. We're going to take this and we're going to move it up here. And we're going to take this background and we're going to move it this direction. Oh, did that again. Okay, so now we have a before and after. And I'm going to turn the guy off for now, just so we don't have to worry about him. But let's just go ahead and now do a tween, which is right here. And what that's going to do is it's going to take everything between where the balloon's there and there, and it's going to fill in that information. So I'm going to create a tween that's 60 frames long. And watch what happens when we hit play now. Our guy disappears. I messed that up. I should not have chosen opacity as one of these. Let's try that again. Okay, so our guy just stands there and stands still. What I'm going to do now is every 3 frames, I'm going to switch to this animation, or this pose. So our character will go from that to that. Just this silly little walk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to hold down Control to select all these frames. Every 3 frames. 1, 2, 3, 22, 33, 24. That's 28, 29, 30. 34, 35, 36. 40, 41, 42. 46, 47, 48. And I just chose 3 just because I thought it looked nice. You could choose whatever works for you. And then these last 3, and those I'm just going to switch this. And it does it to all of them at once. These last 2 I can just get rid of. Delete them. Let's watch our animation. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Well, you might be thinking to yourself, this is cool, but it could be a lot better. How can we kind of clean this up, make it look nice? Well, the first thing you could do is you could just kind of color in your background if you wanted to. So I'm going to make a new layer here. I'm going to stick it in the bottom. And on this layer, I'm going to color in the trees and the background and all that stuff. So let's just start with a nice blue sky blue right here. I could do a gradient, you know, make it look fancy, but let's just keep it simple right now. I'll just, okay, let me erase this little section. Oops. Okay, got a nice blue sky. All right, now let's come in and let's create the hills. Let's kind of make them like a kind of golden brown color. And I'm gonna make this one a little bit darker than the one in the background because things tend to fade as they get in the distance. So just to create that illusion of depth. Let's do that. And let's go ahead and do this a little bit lighter in the distance. Now we could do some things where like the background kind of moves at a different speed and the stuff in the foreground, and that gives it a nice 3-dimensional look, but I think for the sake of this I'm just going to keep it pretty simple. Let's go a little greener here. Let's get this tree and a little bit of brown on the bottom part. Because I'm doing it on a different layer, I kind of have this kind of watercolory look, or this kind of sketchy look where the things underneath it blend in with the things above it. I don't have to worry about the lines. I can kind of spill off a little bit and it's not a big deal. So maybe I want to give this, I don't know, some green grass too. So let's come in and do that. Just use a bigger brush, come in here, probably on a lower layer so I don't have to worry about the tree. I thought I did a lower layer. I guess I didn't choose it. Okay, here we go. And again, I'm just holding shift to go straight across here. Oh, I turned that layer off. There we go. Okay, there we go. And then let's say he's walking on the sidewalk, so let me give that a gray. And maybe down at the bottom, maybe there's like some street, so I'll just do this. There we go. All right, isn't that beautiful? Now the problem is when I animate it, the colors stay, but the background moves. So how do I fix this? Let me go to the first frame, and I'm going to take these 3 layers. Because the animated layer is on top, I can merge these together and watch what happens. Well, we're halfway there. We still have a problem because we duplicated it. So instead of merging those, I'm going to first make a copy of these. I'm going to merge them, the top 3, and I'm then going to go to the last frame and I'm going to merge them again. And what this is doing is it's going to merge, I merged those ones to the right side. Now I'm going to merge these to the left side. They're a little bit off position, so let me just move them first. Get the move tool out and push them where they need to be. Cool. Ooh, I made a bunch of copies of them instead. I accidentally held down Alt instead of Shift. That's alright, I'll just delete those. And let's go ahead and merge these ones. So now when I hit play, it should, everything going correctly, should look like this. Okay, cool. Not bad. Now if I wanted to, I could maybe like put a sun in the background, because the sun would kind of stay in one spot, so that would kind of just give it a relative fixed position. Let's just do something like this. There's a sun in the sky, and that will just stay put. Only problem is the trees, but hey, let's not worry about that right now. So now the animation's got a problem. So what I'm not very good at figuring out how to animate someone walking. So what I would do is I would just find a some image like this online of somebody walking. Now we've already animated it. I don't want to have to redo it all. I've already kind of figured out the framing and everything. So I'm going to take this guy. I'm just going to trace it on the layer, let's see, it's this layer 3 where the guy walks. So let's just do that right on this layer, on layer 3. Right next to him, I'm going to have, what color should I use for this? I'll just use white. I'll stand out a little bit. So I'll just take this and, ooh, that's hard to see though. I don't know. I'm going to pick a different color. I'm going to make this guy green. Shoot. Let's go orange. So I'll take this, make that brush a little harder. And let's give him a head. However you want to draw him is fine, but this is just kind of a starting point for getting the framing. I'm going to make mine just a solid like profile. And that's his first position. He's got a really big foot. Let's try that again. And then let's go ahead and on this layer, let's erase this other guy. Okay, now let's turn that one off. And let's go to, actually no, I should leave him on. Let's go to, I should not have turned him off. That kind of messed everything up. Let's undo that. There we go. Okay, now, so he is on the layer with that guy. I may have to redo this whole thing. I'm not sure what I did wrong there, but we're no longer keeping our animations for some reason. That's all right. I'll just go ahead and do the second animation. We'll have to just redo it. So the guy is there, and then this guy is here. And for this animation, I want to use a different position. So let me just move this board to here. Get it relatively in the same spot. And now on this layer, let's go ahead and trace that. A little smaller brush here. It's a little hard to work with. Alright. And again, you can then put your own character on here. This is just the guideline for the position of the body. Okay, so now let me erase this guy. I can throw away this layer. I don't need it anymore. I was just using it for reference. And this is here, and that's not a very good drawing, but that's alright. So now, when we hit play, I guess we have a problem because I didn't start off with the right one. So let's go back here. Let's turn this one on. And then again, every 3 frames, we'll have to switch them. So it'll go like this. He gets very thin, doesn't he? It's not much of an improvement of what I had before. I should have been more careful, but oh well. Okay, so 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I think you get the idea. If you want to fast forward to this part, feel free. I'm just going to go through here one more time. 30 and last ones. Okay, let's switch those. All right, so here's our final composition. Let's just zoom out here and take a beautiful look at this beautiful scene. Now, what do you notice? Yeah, that's right. That guy's going backwards. Unfortunately, I flipped him, but that's easy to fix too. So if I just go to this layer, Control T to transform, right click, flip horizontal, and then let's go to the 3rd frame. Do the same thing to this guy. Control T, flip horizontal. Oh, unfortunately he got moved, so let's just push him in the right position. Is that right? That's about right. Let's try that. Well, yeah, I made a mess of that. Unfortunately, I when I flipped him, I didn't pay attention to the anchor point. There's apparently something over here that's kind of messing it up, so I guess I didn't erase all that stuff. Let me try one more time, just erase everything. Now if I flip it, there we go. Now he stays in that spot. So let's flip horizontal, and hopefully this will work now. There we go. Now if you wanted to add other details, like you wanted to maybe come in and use the dodge burn tool on the mountains just to give them a little bit of that sunshine peak going on there on the trees. It's always nice to add little details like that. Feel free to. You could come in, you could burn some. This is always a good idea to do before you merge your layers. That's why I got that going on there. But it's always nice to have just a little bit of those details. And if you could even add a shadow on this guy. You could come in with some dark paint. Just pull the hardness down and pull that flow down and just paint a little shadow right here. And when we go to this layer, we could do the same thing on this one. So you end up with this. Just nice little details. However you want to do it. So hopefully that was helpful, and I hope you guys have a good week. I will see you on Monday.